The first dialogue that Justin and I had, we used an example where it was not my company, but it was the MGM example, right? When MGM was hacked, and basically it turned out that one of the sources of the exposure was an IoT device. It was actually I think it was a fish tank thermometer that was the weak link that the bot was able to use and basically plant malware and began to penetrate the system. In our own business, we had customers that would get, they would click on a link, right? We can ask people not to click on, don't click on an email you don't recognize, but it happened many times where people would click on a link and either get a piece of ransomware on a local device or on a potential portion of their system. And you have to go through a remediation to remove those, that impact. I would say that probably 90% of the, I'll say, affected systems came from one of two things: poor patching, that systems within the environment, and I'm going to say anything connected to the network, right? And so in cybersecurity, you might hear asset management, right? You might hear this term. Well, it's really just saying, do you know everything that's connected to your network?
Right.
Because anything that's connected to the network has an attack surface. Okay. And so if you're not patching those things on a regular basis, you're just creating yourself opportunities for, an impact. The second was what was typically this phishing type behavior where people will, it's an end user, not a nefarious action, just clicking on something that they shouldn't have clicked on, which actually contains a payload that lands in the system. And then basically, depending upon the access that the individual end user has, takes advantage of that access and starts to spread throughout a system. Those were probably the two majority, things that I